Hello YouTubers. I thought I would spec up an R1250 LE. It'd be nice if you would join me with any inputs that you found adding these extras to the bike. It'd be interesting to hear your views of what worked for you or didn't work for you. So let's have a crack at it. Grab a cup of coffee and sit down and let's go through speccing out a 1250 RT LE. I've gone with the LE because I think it's the best value for money, unless you just want a dead basic model and then you can save yourself £2.5 grand. If all you want is a base model, no extras at all on it, then go with the base model. But if you want to start adding a few little bits on, I think the LE is better value for money. So let's move on, and the first option we get is the paint. Now for me, I don't like this little grey area where the knees sit on the tank. I would prefer to see that matched in white personally, or something done with it, just not this double grey plastic. And if I go with the blue sports, it's the same. If we select the triple black, we still get this dull black. It's probably not as obvious, but it's still there. And then we got the option 719, and at 1,130, originally I thought this was just a different paint job, but I have noticed after looking at it and paying a bit of attention to it that they've actually painted that dull plastic, and it looks like the black as well around the air intake, or that could be the exhaust for the radiators. I don't think the radiators sit behind there, but that looks a little bit shiny, so it looks like they've either used a different plastic or it's matched with the paintwork, which looks a little bit darker, but it's definitely been painted. And for me, that is probably worth, well, I would say it's worth the £2 grand, but how much would it cost to take those panels off and get them sprayed and painted? I expect we're looking at £1,000. So that paint option then becomes £930. You also get those little chrome accents on the cases, which you can buy as an extra, but they're on this 719 option. So I'm going to stick with the 719 option. I don't necessarily like this colour. I would have to see it in the flesh. I do like the mineral white they had last year, and I would be tempted to buy a second-hand one to get that mineral white. Now seeing that dull plastic would be gone, so that's my preference. So we'll stick with the 719 option to start with, because we can't select the white. And then pack one is the billet packs, and the first one is for the head cylinders. And if I just slide the picture slightly to an angle, that front area of the engine block right behind the front wheel, if I hit this now, you will see, if you look at the front, behind the front wheel, you will see that change. And so this is the classic, which I would think would look nice on the white, not so sure on this colour. And then if I select the shadow, which I'm thinking yes for this colour, and then if I select the storm billet, I didn't see that change. Oh, wrong one, sorry. The storm billet, which is that one. So I'm going to select the shadow. I think that's probably what I would go with. Be interested in your views. Oh, and another thing is, if any of you guys have got this, is it a pain in the ass keeping it clean? Because obviously there's more nooks and crannies, and I believe you can't see the detail here, but I believe there's fins etched out into the billet, so I would imagine it would be a lot harder to keep clean. But if anyone's got it, I'd love to hear your views on that. Okay, and then obviously the comfort package comes as standard on the LE. I was disappointed with, when I took the demo out, the sound of the silencer, the end can. So I would select the sports. I would want the sports end can. Think it looks nice. Looks nice from the rear. And if we can try and spin this round, I like the carbon fibre tip on the end. I think that matches this colour nicely. You got the carbon fibre shield down by the pegs. I think this looks smart and nice. I think it suits the bike. And if you've got one, I'd love to know what you think of the sound, because it's really the sound that I'm after. Do love to hear the burble of the engine when you're changing down, especially with the Pro shifter. I love that sort of thing. So I'd be interested in your feedback on that. If you've got the sports silencer, what you think of it. So we'll just run through the comfort pack, and you get the enhanced telephony with smartphone connectivity, the chrome, which obviously I've added the sports, so I guess it's just maybe the down header is a chrome. Additional power socket, heated seating, which if you're touring would be a bonus, I guess. Anti-theft alarm, not sure whether that does anything these days. People just don't take any notice, but it's on there. Keyless ride, which I think is a big bonus, and I would get the comfort pack just for the keyless ride personally, because I think that's a game changer. And the central locking system, which, I suppose it's not, take it out or leave it, to be honest. Okay, let's move on. Wheels now. I would go with the sport wheels on this, an £830 option. I think they look beautiful. It doesn't really tell me whether we lose any weight, and wheels are an important weight saving, and that makes a big difference to the handling. So I know it's a big bike, but you may not think you're going to notice, but I think you will. I think that would make, that front wheel will turn in quicker, I believe. But anyway, I like the look anyway. So if you've got these, be interested if you think they did make any difference to the turn-in speed, change of direction, and what you thought. I'm adding. I think they're good. So they're on the bike now, as you can see the picture. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can't really see it. It's the side, but the cases hide them a bit as well. You've got that nice single-sided swing arm, but it's hidden. But yeah, they look sexy. I want them. So, okay, we're up to 24, just over 24 and a half. But this is the dream build, and I'm hoping that I can go for this spec. I don't see no reason why not. So, and this isn't going to be bought on a PCP and sold on 3 years later. This is going to be a keeper. So adding the spec in my mind is worth it, because it's not a bike I'm just going to keep for 3 years and get rid of. And I think we're done. I think, oh, hold on, what we got here? So I've gone the sports wheels and active cruise control, another £500. Is active cruise control worth it? ACC. I'm going to add it. I didn't realise it came with that ACC written across the top of the radar there. Not that it matters. But for £500, I'm not sure I would use it, but for £500, let's chuck it on. We say audio system. Now here's an interesting one. I don't think I would use it, and for £1,115, I think it's a lot of money for something I don't think I'm going to use. What do you guys use this audio system for? Can you hear it above 50 miles an hour? Do you think it's worth it? I could see that possibly around town with the sat nav instructions. Yes, that coffee's good. But no, I'm not convinced. And I believe that I'm not sure whether the buttons can be programmable on the side if you have the audio system. And I like the thought that those 4 buttons could be used as shortcuts for the heated seat, maybe the handlebars, or whether that's the same button you would use for both. But to have those shortcuts used for other things other than audio, I think would be more advantageous for me. So I'm going to leave the audio off, but I'm interested in what other people think on that. And then daytime running lights, they come as standard, and so does the dynamic ESA. Gear Shifter Pro is standard, and Headlight Pro is also standard. So that's good. High seat, definitely not. High windshield, don't need it, I'm too short. The intelligent call, don't know how useful that is, but it's there, so happy days. Keyless ride, definitely, we've already covered that. LED additional fog lights. Don't know whether you need them, but at $390, why not? So they've been added onto the bike now. You can see the headlamps down there on the picture. So we've added those babies on. What else have we got? Dynamic engine brake control, yes, definitely. Rider's low seat for me, yes. There we go. My little short legs will love that. Riding modes, as they become part of the package. You have to excuse my dog jumping off the windowsill, looking for his mum. So Riding Mode Pro. So what do we get? Dynamic and HSC, whatever that is, Pro, no idea. DBC and dynamic engine braking. Oh, dynamic engine braking control, that would be. Throttle response and braking manoeuvres are finely regulated, and the rider is effectively supported during panic braking. Well, we don't want any of that panic braking, do we? So you can get servicing for 3 years or 18,000 miles. Now, does that include the 18,000 mile service, which I believe is a biggie? Let's have a look. The service inclusive package covers all services excluding wear parts at a fixed price. Original BMW Motorrad parts and Advantech original BMW engine oils are used exclusively. The duration is up to 3 years, all for 30,000 kilometers, 18,000 miles. Now, does that include, that needs to be asked, does that include the 18,000 mile service? Because if it does, it's a bloody bargain at $750, I would say. That's the biggie, I believe, the 18,000 mile service. Need to check that, because that would be worth doing. And then the other one is 1,019, inclusive 5 years at 1,090. Now I think the services are about £250. I've never owned an RT, so you guys that own RTs, it'd be really interested in your input on the 5 year and the 3 year servicing, and what you paid to let us guys that are thinking of signing up to these, whether they're worth, are we actually saving anything? You need to have a very good dealer and a dealer that you trust to sign up for these. I've had previous knowledge of barnstormers where I will buy this bike and I would have no qualms about signing up for the service and them doing it. It's whether they are cost saving or not. That's the big question, isn't it? And does the 3 year, see the 3 year, if it involves the 18,000 mile service, I would think that's bloody good value. Does the 5 year cover the next big service? It's when the big services are, isn't it? You guys that already own these RTs, it would be really valuable for you to chip in and let us know what the big services are. I believe the 18 is one. When is the next one? Is it 36? Because if it is 36, then this the 30k one doesn't look such good value, does it? It's but saying that, if it's £250 a service a year, that brings us up to 1,000. So we are saving something. Be interested in your feedback on that one, guys. It does look like both are worth it. Okay, so sports silencer, we've already covered that. Personally, I would love to hear your feedback on how that sounds. And tyre pressure control, which I do believe is useful. I've actually had this on the K13 with a puncture, and I was alerted of the puncture before I actually felt it on the bike. By the time I'd actually stopped, I could tell that it was losing pressure, but the warning light came on before I realised I had the puncture. So yeah, I like that. Okay, so I'm now up to 25,655. So I've stuck on £5,500, I believe, of extras. Crazy, but like I say, the bike is not going to be sold in 3 years down the road. I'm not sure about this colour. I would need to see one in the flesh. I would definitely get it in mineral white, but that would be a second-hand option. Oh, and the other thing I was interested in, and this is not part of this package at the moment, but if BMW were to bring out blind spot warning added to the specs of these bikes, I'm hoping that maybe that comes out in 2023, the October spec. I haven't seen anything released yet, but if that came out in 24, I would definitely hold on, I think, and get the spec with the blind spot monitoring for overtaking. You know what I mean with the cars, where you get the little amber signal in the mirrors to tell you there's a car alongside you. I think that would be valuable and great addition on a motorbike, to give you that warning that there is something there. You'd still probably do your lifesaver, but I think that on a motorbike, and that's very doable on this bike. The mirrors are attached to the fairing. I think that would be a great addition to this bike. What do you think? I'd love you to subscribe and like if you like the video. Stick with me. I'm going to do plenty of touring on this bike. I want to probably do a couple of UK tours first, Scotland and Northumberland, to get the feel of it before we shoot across. And then I'd love to get up to the Menheim Gate, First World War tours, do a bit of that. I've never done the First World tour. That's one thing I want to do with this. And I'd like to get back to Normandy, so do a couple of short tours abroad first, get the feel of the bike is my thinking. I haven't been to Normandy in 5 years. Normally go D-Day week. Love the hustle and bustle of D-Day week, and hit some of the regular spots. I'm British, so obviously Pegasus Bridge, Merville Battery, Hillman, the beaches, but I also do love the Band of Brothers series, so Brerecourt Manor, Carrington, all those areas, Dead Man's Corner, Utah Beach, got a great museum, and hit the Normandy landings again and do a bit of that. There's some great places to visit over there, and it's only a hop across the channel from the UK. So I will probably do a few videos on the planning of the First World War. Never done that, so any help you could give me on that would be brilliant. Normandy, I've been about 6 or 7 times, but again, please send any suggestions, because there may be something I've missed. There's so much there. I'm sure I haven't covered everything, and I'd love some input on that, and share ideas. You know, that's what it's all about. Us bikers is helping each other. That's what got me into the love of biking, was you know, you break down on the side of the road, a biker will always stop and help you out. You know, and that's what I love about biking. Okay, thanks for looking in.